straight up misery. But you know, there's always a light. You just have to find it. And sometimes it just eludes you for a really, really long time.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I think, and the beauty of what you said there too as well, the light looks so different for each one of us.
Yeah, it really does.
It's never the same.
No.
But it's similar, like I could resonate with you.
Yeah.
But each light, like I can't tell you what your light looks like, right? That's the beauty. Like, and then when it comes and it happens.
To describe it, actually.
Coming up next, Stephanie Bryant. You got another one you want to share with us?
Yeah, let's see.
You know.
Okay,
You know.
I'll read one from the Super Noodle section, which is my poem from yesterday. That's that. This one is
Episode 69.
This one is very subtle. It's not like, you know, I'm on my knees and we're, you know, altar sacrilege.
You killed me with that, because I wrote something similar to that when I wrote my thighs poem.
Really?
Like, I love doing religious, like, this idea, because it's so extreme, but it's so relevant, right? You hear me?
I always feel like slightly guilty, like, oh, I'm about to piss people off, but, you know, it is what it is, right?
You ain't your poetry, though.
There you go.
Shamik says, if I write on death, doesn't mean I'm dying.
Thank you, right? Like, file that under shit that should go without saying.
Shamik, please post that. Please post that. That should be, that's your poem, bro. Seriously, please, I'll like the fuck out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this one is Explorer, and this is on 38. By the way, a lot of the titles of the poems that I write, they're titles of songs that I love by artists I love. So a lot of times if I have writer's block as a songwriter, especially, like, one of the best things I'll do is I'll take a title and I'll, like, sort of build a piece around that that's totally different from the song, but uses the song title as my title and takes a different turn. So my favorite thing I use, I don't know if anyone else is a fan, but Explorers is one of my favorite songs by them. So I had wicked writer's block one day and figured, okay, let me sit down and I'll use this title and I'll see what happens. And then this poem was the result.
Who was the band? I didn't hear it. It kind of...
Muse.
Muse, okay, cool.
Muse, yeah.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, you have to. They're fucking killer. I love them.
What's the name of the song, if you don't mind me asking?
Explorers.
Floors?
Explorer.
Explorer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I revel in learning your topography, a map leading me to ecstasy, deliciously lost in your majestic peaks and undulating valleys, sloping down and surrounding me. Around each new corner, I will be your explorer. I love every line in your skin, enough to ignore this mess we're in.
Subtle.
That's a short one, yeah.
Just subtle.
Subtle. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, I like the beginning already.
It sounds like a lullaby. Their music is very...
Oh, this is a vibe. This is a vibe.
They are a vibe. I mean, it's everything.
I need to be alone. I need to be alone for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Music and poetry? You have my heart. This one is, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little Wednesday session right now. I never needed to be empowered. I only crave to be devoured. Disembodied from my own limbs. To sink or swim with you in the rolling sea of this bed. Panting. Floating. Wet. Spent in surrendered submission. You can all but own me as long as you promise to keep your hands busy and your mouth wandering. Write your name on my skin. Brand me with your fingertip. Want to see it in the morning. I worship upon the altar of you. I paid my thighs and I want my due. So whisper in my ear and tell me exactly what you want me to do. Okay. Nothing
Easy.
much to be said about that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you for writing it.
Thank you
Okay.
for reading. Everything's
Abs-
better when you read it.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, God. All right. Yeah. Anyways, what do we have? What's next?
Okay.
It's hot. It just got really hot. Fuck.
Okay. One of my favorite ones, and it's not real long, but probably one of my favorite ones that I've ever written is called Smoke Signal. I really, really like this one. I
Oh, I
wrote
read
this
this one.
place of extreme anger, and like you can hear it in it. And I think sometimes that instead of waiting for a moment or a feeling to pass, writing when you're feeling an extreme
Yes.
gets you, something that you like more. I'm such a logical, like pragmatic person normally. So I
Yes.
like to, try to reason through things and let things pass. But I think sometimes when you don't, the writing is better for it, when you like harness it. So that's where this came.
Mm, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So this is Smoke Signal. Wearing my best accelerant while you stood complicit, I lit myself ablaze and I raged for you.
Mm.
Instead of dousing the flames, you pulled up a chair and used me to keep warm. You sat and watched me burn. You're still picking through my ashes, looking for embers. I hope you choke on the smoke.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hype. You get me hype right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I really like that one. I still can't exactly pinpoint why. I don't think we always have reasons, but I don't know. It's just I always really liked this poem a lot. So
In the first line of your intro, I said she's a firecracker. I just want to remind everybody that. This one is, I know you read it later. Choke on the smoke. Yes. I'll do one more. Um, but I really want to get into like how how do you make this possible in the sense of creating a book, right? With your words. Like, I know it's a lot. And you told me, like, this journey is something that everybody kind of has to experience to really grasp it and understand it.
right.
Is there maybe a couple of lines, like, maybe from the heart? It doesn't have to be necessarily like, this is step one, this is step 10, right? Maybe something just to, because I know there's poets in here. It's lit in our community. This is our poetry community. Is there any, like, maybe lines that you can maybe share with us that help guide us towards that North Star, towards writing our own book, or towards like really realizing our dreams in that sense?
Yeah, I think if it's something that you're set on and you want to do, you can either half-ass it, especially if you're,
Ooh,
or you really have to dig in and create. Like my goal was to create something that doesn't look or sound self-put. Like I wanted it to look like something that a major publishing house would put
it
out.
does.
So in
Yes.
order to do that, there's my daughter. Honey, gotta go downstairs, okay? Mommy's almost done.
Hi, daughter.
So if you're going to do it, you have to have some semblance of organization. Figure out what you want the overall theme to be. What do you want it to be a collection of?
Ooh,
Figure out your intention earlier because then you can build it around it. If you start with organization, the whole process is easier. And I say that
mm,
because this book happened the opposite way. It was completely just a disjointed, whatever I wanted to write manuscript that was like 200 pages long.
ooh,
And then finally I started at the 11th hour to fine tune it and to pull things out of it and then sort of finesse it into something that, was more cohesive, I guess. So start out with some kind of a plan, like know what kind of book you want to write. What do you want the theme of it to be? Organize your sections or your chapters early. And, it
mm,
has to be something that you're somewhat methodical about because if you are, it's more pleasant not only to do, it becomes something that's almost fun as opposed to, a headache.
yeah.
Um,
Wow.
but yeah, I mean, if like at all you're thinking, it's a lot of work, but, just go for it. My second book is flying in a way that this one
Oh wow, that's
it is.
awesome.
It's so easy and so effortless. I have it slated for release on New Year's Day next year. I'm gonna
Wow.
have like advanced reader copies probably ready by September or October. So I think if you want to do this, just dig in, lean into it, go where it needs to go, but have something in mind so that you don't drive yourself crazy, which is very easy to do.
Thank you for sharing that. Damn, that's so fucking real because like you did that. Or you learn from that, right? You learn sometimes like I learn like you got to learn from the nots to get the yeses, like to understand the yeses and the flow of
Right.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's really beautiful. She
exactly.
PQ says she makes doing anything in the world sound possible as fuck. That's
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 nice.
a
Yeah.
that's a talent. What about being multidimensional in that? Doesn't it tie down to a thing? Ooh, that's a good question.
What was the question?
What about being multidimensional in that it doesn't tie down to a theme? Like, can you? I mean, if that's what your intentions are, then you could do that. But
Yeah. If like even, okay, under the umbrella topic of like romantic love, there's still four very different sections like in this or of this. But yeah, I mean, you could do, whatever you wanted. If you're somebody who writes all over the place and, you want your book to be more of like, your own musings on life or whatever it is, like you can do anything you want. It's just for somebody like me, I have wicked ADD. Oh my God, it's terrible. So I need some kind of focus in order to be able to take something from like the foundation level and build it up to where it's completed. I
yes,
think
yes,
it's easier that way.
absolutely.
Even if you want to span multiple topics, definitely section them off. You don't want to, I think in general, produce a book that seems like it's all over the place or an afterthought.
Yeah,
So I think if you want to, go through multiple topics or just write, whatever came out, just maybe try to organize them in the end, thematically. If you wrote about heartbreak, if you wrote about, grief or loss or, mental illness, I mean, definitely like organize.
in your poetry and your writing and in real life as well. So thank you for sharing that, Seth. Um,
Hey,
I'm gonna. I can't wait to read this one. Um,
which one is it?
surprise, 89, page 89, waiting on tenterhooks. Um,
Something real quick. That's one of my least favorite ones in here. So I'm actually kind of glad you're reading it.
I'll tell you. After I read it, I really want to like. There's three lines that fucking kill me. But and isn't that so funny that I love that? I
Mm-hmm.
love that you said that. Thank you for sharing that.
I almost
All,
stuck it out.
I would also love. I pinned the comment. Lindy says, "I'm scared people wouldn't buy it." So after I read it,
Stop. Yes, we would. We all would.
so the beauty of that. This is a deep question, though, Stephanie. Honestly, because I think it's one of those things like the deepest fears of not being enough, right? That's
Yeah.
the deepest fear of that. So I would love if we, after I read this and we talk about it, that question to just maybe be in your mind, if you could share something from your experience
Okay.
of how do you push through that too as well, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.